Hello, hello. I am Rachel Morgan, a sales consultant who works with retailers to teach them how to maximize their traffic, motivate their teams, and increase sales. And of course, and most importantly, how to stop watching sales walk out the door. Today I have Donna with me, who has spent the last 30 years in corporate America before she went into entrepreneurship as an executive coach, business consultant, and writer. She leverages her extensive experience to help companies and individuals maximize their potential. Currently, her work centers around working with professionals who are dealing with work transitions, from promotions, job changes, corporate policies, and everything that comes with managing a career and a life, which is very important, of course. The transformations she's seen with her clients are powerful and humbling. Donna is thoughtful, action-packed, and willing to share what she has learned, sometimes even the hard way. I know you'll want to listen to this a couple of times to get all the nuggets that she shares. Oh, and make sure you share it with a friend too. They'll thank you for it. So in our conversation today, I'm so excited. We're diving into how to cultivate client relationships in any industry, which is such an important topic to me personally as well. Client relations is something that is personal to me and that I'm very passionate about, like I said. And I think that you'll feel the same by the end of this. Every business needs this. It's something we can all improve on and something that we can definitely be utilizing. So I couldn't imagine a better person to have this conversation with and invite on. So let's get her here and to let us know where you're from. And if you have any questions as we go, please definitely make sure to let us know. So, perfect.
Oh, wow.
Hello.
You can't see me. Hi.
I know. I hate that when you jump on it, like changes your screen.
But now you can see me, right?
Yes, I can see you perfectly now and I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Well, welcome. Tell us all, Donna, where are you from for those tuning in?
I live in Boston, Massachusetts.
A wonderful city.
It is actually today is like the perfect Boston day.
Oh, yes. Is it fall there?
It
We're
is
seeing the
fall, which we
beautiful
get for
colors.
like all of 3 seconds.
Yeah, I know that too.
Yeah.
It's the same in Seattle. Yes. Well, I am so excited to talk about client relationships. I know, again, like I said before, it's something that you and I both feel are very important things that we're passionate about and can make seriously a world of difference and can literally change your life as a result. So I would love to know in your own words, why do you think they're so valuable?
Client relationships, why are they
Yes.
so, to me, they're just everything. Um, my client relationships are now long-term friendships. They've gotten me through the best of times. They've gotten
Mm-hmm.
me through recessions. I've worked through several recessions.
Mm-hmm.
And relationships, I think, trump almost anything.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're authentic.
Right, right. I completely agree. It's amazing what can come out of it. And I think when you have a strong connection with a client, they become your friend. Like you said, they get you through things. I mean, I still meet many of my previous clients that I worked with in my old job for happy hour, for lunch. We do projects together. I mean, they recommend people and vice versa. So you literally never know where it can lead.
You never know where it can lead. And, I didn't have that expectation when I first started great
Mm-hmm.
client relationships. I just wanted to do the best job I possibly could for them. And I never really, because I started it in my 20s, I never realized that they would actually, a lot of them would become long lasting relationships. And then when I transitioned into coaching 3 years ago, I didn't realize that many of my current clients would be former colleagues, former clients, that they would be added to my email list, that they would refer me to other people. I didn't go into it with that in mind.
Right, right. But they want to support you because
They
people
want to
like to
support
support
you.
people. Yeah.
Right. And I think when it's genuine like that, it sells beyond any perfect product, perfect service. I think people, for the most part, still, at least in the service industry, they want to work with people they like and trust.
Yeah.
I still believe
And
that to this day.
oh, absolutely. Of course. When we trust someone, we know that they have our best interest in mind. And you've obviously been able to demonstrate that in the past. So why would they feel different now, right? Especially if you haven't given them a reason.
Right.
Um, but what you said was really, it was good because you said just because you worked with them before doesn't mean that they won't need you again. And I think we often forget about that, that just because you switch roles or you switch companies or you switch what you're doing, it doesn't mean that as people, they won't need you or your help again.
Well, it's true. Like when I was in sales, very early in my career, and I think I told you this when we talked last week, my old boss, who I still love, but he was a brutal boss. He used to like
Mm-hmm.
make me call him and do like sales calls. Now I don't think
Mm-hmm.
people ever actually pick up the phone, so that wouldn't work. And he said, Donna Starr, my name wasn't Starr at the time, but easier name now. You want to be number two everywhere. And you
Mm-hmm.
tell that to a hunter salesperson and they're like, number two, you want to be number one. The reality is there's a waiting game when it comes to sales and customer service. You want to be valuable to the person. You want to be top of mind to the person so that when they do have a need, that you're in the consideration set. And it really worked for me. And then later on in my career, when you had to pick, do you want to be a hunter, like go out and kill your fish, or do you want to cook the fish? I was like, I guess I'm going to cook the fish because I really like cultivating the
Yeah.
relationships. I don't ever want to be one and done. And the best salespeople are never one and done. They realize
No.
that. But I've had clients fire me and then rehire me. Like, business is business. Sometimes companies have to make decisions that are best for them, whether it's on price, whether it's on a new product. Your relationship can only take you so far. But there's so much mobility with clients. They go to different places. They need some consulting services. The relationship's never done, and a no just is a no for now.
I firmly believe that too. A no is not really a no, it's a no for now. And sometimes there's so many reasons that go into it. They don't understand or they can't afford or maybe the timing's not right. I mean, but and I think that's really important too, is like not being disingenuous or giving up because you hear the no, because you never know when it's going to be yes. It could be a year, it could be years.
It could be,
But if
it could be
people
years.
see, yeah, and if people see that consistency from you, I know that you were genuine, you weren't just nice to try and close the sale. Trust me, they will be back.
I agree. I never really got upset about no's. Certainly sometimes I thought I was going to get a yes and then I got a no. And I was like, so bummed. I still remember the Harvard
Sure.
hoop 100 years ago. I really had, but our creative wasn't as good. Like I got it. When I saw the creative, she's like, we couldn't pick you. The creative from the other agency was so much better. And when I saw it, I was like, it was so much better.
Right, right.
Sometimes you lose, but you never lose the ability to be a genuine, trusted partner to someone else.
Oh, I love that. That's so true, right? This makes me think of a quote that I was told years ago, and I think you'll like it. It takes a lifetime to build a reputation, but seconds to destroy it.
So true.
And so that seconds can be when we give up, when someone says no, when we suddenly act rude because we didn't get the result that we wanted, when we stop being nice and friendly. I mean, how many times have we received a DM from someone or a call or an email or something, and they seem so nice and so interested in what we do, and they compliment you, they tell you the nicest things, and then you finally tell them no and they disappear, or they get kind of mean, or it's like everything they said didn't matter, right?
Right.
And you feel that, and you're never ever going to reach out to them again, which almost like solidifies like there was no point.
Right.
But if they maintained the relationship and actually were nice, and you gave them a chance to start trusting you and get to know you, you may actually get a sale.
Yeah, no, no, I mean, yeah. And so the reason why I loved our conversation and the reason I think we decided to talk about this is it all starts with this, right? You're
Yeah.
not going to ever sell to somebody who doesn't trust or like you, regardless of how wonderful your solution is. It's just not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. And so even in my coaching career now, if I feel like I'm not the right fit for somebody, because coaching, like anything else, is about fit. I think you would
Mm-hmm.
agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the right coach for you. I want you to go work with somebody who's the right fit for you. That's more important to me than any dollars that I will derive from that sale, because I want it to be a meaningful, purposeful, results driven outcome for you.
Right. And that's genuine. I want to see you succeed. Right. That's not,
Definitely.
I'm in it for myself. I'm in it for you.
Right.
And I just want to say, Isaiah, thank you. He said, love this. So true. So thank you for being here, Isaiah.
Thank you for being here, Isaiah.
Okay, so we understand that they're really important and it's something that we want to keep working at, keep maintaining. I think we all understand the importance of building it, but sometimes the tricky part is like, well, how do you get it going? And then how do you maintain it? So what are some of your favorite ways?
I have two words that I think that I don't want to be generationally discriminatory follow-up.
No,
I
I
mean,
follow up
I
is
just, yeah, I think, for me, some of my clients used to say that I'm just the ace follow-upper. If you ask me to do something, I will follow up and tell you the status of it. I will tell you when I actually know nothing, just so that you don't go into, my background is in talent acquisition strategy. There's such a black hole of recruiting, like candidates get dropped, people get dropped, people don't know what their status is. And I think that we create so much anxiety by not telling people anything. So to me, the two
yeah.
words that I think, if I had to drill down why I think I've been successful, I think two words: follow up.
No, I mean, I completely agree. It's just like a friend or a family member. We would follow up with them, we would check in with them. And I think that's the skill set of having effective communication too, is being able to communicate what's happening as it's happening, right? And never assuming that someone understands.
Right. And we make a lot of assumptions like, oh, I
Yes.
told that person that I would get back to him when I knew something. Well, what if 48 hours have passed or 72 hours have
Mm-hmm.
passed? They're just thinking low priority. It takes a second to
Mm-hmm.
send a DM, a text, a Slack, a Teams, or whatever systems you're on, just to say, still haven't heard back. I'm going to follow up again. You just like made them like breathe a little easier. Someone's on it. I don't have to, one less thing I have to worry about.
Right.
So
Right.
I think follow up is my number one.
Yeah, and I would say even I know we're not talking about this, but as an applicant, following up with a company even just to see where you're at, right? Be top of mind. Follow up is such a powerful thing, and I think we get scared of it, like we're gonna be annoying or inconveniencing someone, right? But sometimes people just literally get busy or forget, or the fact that you do follow up makes you stand out. It
I
brings you
think so.
back to top of mind. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
no, I'm with you.
yeah. So, and I know that's how you are too, because when we talked last week, it seemed like we had so much in common in terms of like
Mhm.
how we approach, because you're and on the retail side of things, and you're really helping them train and nurture customers, and
Mhm.
realizing that that they may not buy in the store today, but they could be a
Mhm.
lifelong client. Like the place that I close shop,
Mhm.
she knows what I like. She texts me if there's something in the store that she thinks I like. You know,
Yes.
right? I mean, and she's, knows what's in
Yeah.
my closet, and she's like, "Oh, I think it'll go with X."
Mhm.
So I'm like, "Well, she really cares about me. She's not
Mhm.
just trying to sell me the most expensive thing in the store. She knows who I am and what my likes and
Mhm.
needs are." And everybody wants to be recognized. People want to be valued for who they are, not just cookie cutter approach.
Right. And that's something we can all do in our business too, right? It's taking the initiative of, "Hey, I saw this. It made me think of you based on what you've told me." It's a form of following up, right? And keeping in contact and cultivating a relationship and maintaining it, which is very important. And it helps you continue the trust. And who doesn't want to tell, like, I'm sure you tell your friends, "I have this amazing person at this clothing store. You should go see her. She always keeps me up to date on what's happening. I don't have to think about it. She's on it." And you're like happy to buy. It's like the easiest sale, right?
It's the easiest sale. And
Yeah.
I've been with her. This is also
Mhm.
her third location since I've been working with her. So I have followed her and I
Mhm.
would recommend her. And in sales terms, that's lead nurturing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she's
Yeah.
pretty sure, she can count on me to spend X amount of money with her. There's a dollar amount, I'm sure, if she had a plan and budget. And I don't have a problem with that. People have to make a living.
Right. You know what I think you said is really important is that you are not buying because of the marketing and the brand. You're buying because of the person and the way she sells.
100%.
And that is key. And I think we forget about that so often. Marketing can attract you in, but it doesn't guarantee the sale. It's how she's talked to you, the relationship she's built with you, and the way she makes you feel that makes you buy and follow her no matter where she's at.
You know what? Such a good point. The only point of differentiation, I agree with that
Yeah.
100%. If she was at, I don't want to slam another clothing
Well,
company, but like, let's say she was at Chico's. I don't have anything wrong with Chico's. I mean, it might be the best store, but that's not my style. So if she was there, I may
mhm,
not buy stuff from her, but she tends to go to the similar type stores that that her clientele would like. So that would be the only difference, is if she was at some place that I absolutely, again, anybody on there that loves Chico's, it's just not my style because I'm small. But yeah, so she knows her brand too.
Right, right. Well,
She knows.
and a good person will always know what their clients need, no matter where
Yeah.
they're at.
Yeah, I didn't mean to slam any company
No,
because
no,
that's not what I
no,
mean.
no.
Yeah.
It was
I was
literally an
just trying to think. I
example.
don't even know if they're still in business. So anyway, I apologize about that.
No, I am pretty sure they are. I don't shop there either. I'm not familiar with them, but I
Yeah,
know you were just mentioning a
yeah,
brand, top of mind brand. Like it
yeah,
wasn't.
that was it.
Yeah.
I just, I never want to be negative. So I think that her relationship with me, like, I know if I called her and said, can you come over and check out my closet? Because I know she would do that. I have not done that to her.
Oh,
But she's like such an adorable human. And my daughter just fostered a dog, and she used to bring her dog to work. She's like, oh, I'm so happy your daughter has a foster dog. Like, so it's beyond
oh.
just clothing. Like, she cares about me as a person, and I trust her.
Yeah, exactly. And that is really why client relationships matter, right? Is getting to that point. Now imagine if it was reversed and you were her and what that could do for your business, right? I mean, you're just talking from like a consumer standpoint. And I do think that oftentimes we forget what it's like to be the consumer, oftentimes when we're in that sales position. So this is a really excellent like reminder of I feel really good when this happens. How can I bring this into my own business, right?
Right. And that's really how I run my business. Like, this might be something that my coaches may not agree with, or they may. I'm not, because I run my own business, but I keep in touch with almost every single one of my customers, even if they're no
You
longer a
should.
customer. Because,
100%.
yeah,
Yes.
I mean, because once you're in my orbit, I always say, like, I care about you. You trusted me to help you in some part of your life. And just because we're no longer technically working together, we are still together in
Right.
some
I
way.
mean,
Now, I might not check on them
yeah.
weekly, and I send out a biweekly newsletter, and, I stay so from a marketing standpoint, I do stay in front of my clients, but even more than that, I email them, or I have an app called Voxer. So I keep in touch. You never know. They could refer me to someone. They may need, to your earlier point, they may come back and need more coaching
Hmm.
later. And so to me, the relationship just doesn't end.
Right. Well, and you, as a coach, you get really personal.
Yes.
And I know you do, you get really invested in people. And you just want it to end when your time is up. Like, I feel like I want to know how things are going. I want to know how you're doing. I want to like be your cheerleader on the sideline and keep up with you and check in. Like, just because your contract's ended doesn't mean you can't keep rooting for them, right?
And that's the thing, is, especially with coaching and what you do, I'm always rooting for them, right? They took the
Hmm.
time to make some changes or want to make some changes in their life. And if they switch jobs, or if I'm cheering you on always. Whoops, sorry.
Oh no, it happens. It's okay. We're good. So, okay, my only thought here, and I think you can answer this, is, a lot of people feel, well, I don't have the time for that. I'm already so busy. Now you're telling me I have to like keep in touch with people and follow up. Like, what do you tell people?
I'm
What
going
would
to
you say?
pause. I'm going to pause on that one, because we all have the same 24 hours in a day.
Hmm.
And so if you're telling me that it's not important to you to stay in touch with relationships and people, my question to you is, what is more important?
I would say that customers are the largest asset to your business. And if you're not prioritizing it, then you might be focusing on the wrong thing. And I know that's extremely blunt.
No, I like blunt. I think that's why you and I like each other. But for me, it's like, what is more important? And
Yeah.
then you find that people aren't managed. First of all, time is never the issue, unless you're like have 18
Hmm.
kids and you're trying to work. Of course, during COVID, I think there was some of
Hmm.
that, right? Because people were doing triple duty, especially women. Um, but in general, you can
Hmm.
spend 30 minutes a week. You can time block and just
Hmm.
send some follow-up emails. My structure, and I am not the most structured human, even though people think I am. Fridays before I leave, I write a list of what I accomplished for the week. On Sunday nights, I look at my week
Love
ahead and I get
that.
my files out to say I'm working with these people. Fridays, I do my bill. Like, so I have some like built-ins, but always in my
Hmm.
schedule is time to follow up with people. Oh,
Right.
I don't need to add that into my schedule, because that's who I am.
Right.
But for
Right.
people that may use that as I don't want to use the word excuse, but people that may use that as I don't have time, how can you make that time?
Right. It's a time management skill and it can
I
be
think it
really
is.
hard. One thing I've been really trying to do lately, someone gave me this advice, is at the beginning of my day, sit down and there's two things you can do. Who are five people you can follow up with, whether it's on social media, email, or your phone, right? Like literally just five people and say, hey, how
Right.
are you? Keep it so simple. I've been thinking about you. How are you? Five people. First thing in the day, right? And then it's done and over. And then it gives them the opportunity to reply the rest of the day. And the second thing is going through your phone and starting with the letter A. And one day, just texting your ring with an A and saying, hey, how are you? I've been thinking about you. Whether that's customers, friends, family, you'd be like so surprised at how people are like, oh my gosh, it's so great to hear from you. Or I've been thinking about you lately and I've been meaning to reach out. And,
Right.
I've seen businesses find clients this way simply because customers don't always chase you down. Sometimes you literally have to take the initiative to get in front of them. And that's where kind of that maintaining the relationship and cultivating it is really important,
I
right?
think so too. And when I work with clients and they are starting their job search, not all my
Mm,
clients are in the middle of a job search, but let's say the first thing we talk about is what you did, which is networking. I keep them
mm-hmm.
on LinkedIn. Like, you have a network, you've been at former companies before. Everybody has a network. Everybody has a network. So
Yeah.
your A list, I love that idea. But if you are going to work want to work in consulting, do you have anybody in your network that's currently working at consulting? Network
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn is a beautiful resource for people for what for a lot of the work I do with executives, and people don't lean into their networks nearly enough. And I would think in retail also, like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many people were in the store last week or did the show, whatever the case is, there's always a reason to reach out, I would think.
Right. Right. There's always a reason, even if it's just to say hello, right?
Even if it's just to say hello, or, with Hurricane Ian,
Yeah.
I hope you didn't have anybody affected, and mean it. Like, oh, I heard you were going to Florida. Are you okay? There's always a reason.
Right. What a beautiful example. There you go. Start your day. Make a list of five people that live in Florida and go reach out to them. See?
Right. I love the way your brain works. But, the
Oh,
thing is, there's always a reason. I was just thinking about you today. I happened to be driving by and your name popped into my head. That's happened to me. And sometimes I'll just reach out to people. And, with me, I have clients that aren't on regular schedules. So,
yeah.
after a little while, sometimes it can go a month or 6 weeks before we talk, depending on their packages. And I'm checking in with them, like, and then
Mm-hmm.
miraculously, if I do check in with them, a lot of them will be like, oh, I needed to get on your calendar. And I'm not always emailing them because I want them to get on my calendar, but I want them to know, regardless of what's going on with them, I'm thinking about them.
Right. That goes such a long way to feel seen and heard and thought of. So many people feel neglected.
Oh, I think so
And
many people feel neglected, and there's no reason for it. How long did that
mhm,
take? 30 seconds? 10 seconds? Was thinking about you today. Hope you're doing well. I
yeah,
think about
it
this one woman every year when pumpkin spice lattes come out. I
yeah.
hate pumpkin spice lattes. And they come out way too early. I don't hate them. That's like a strong word. But I email her every year on that day,
Oh,
like, just our thing, and so you can find a thing with almost everybody.
I promise you she looks forward to that email every single year or that reach out,
Or if
whether
I
she
do a
says it or
live, I
not.
mention her and I'm like, no ixnay on,
Oh,
or on my emails, I'll write no PSLs, whatever. So there always some acknowledgement for her.
oh, I love that. Well,
So,
Donna, I want to kind of end it on this. I know this is a topic that you bring up quite often. Oh, you can't listen. Okay. It might be maybe try jumping out of Instagram and back into it could just be a glitch because I think Donna, you can hear me okay, right?
I couldn't in the
Yeah.
beginning, but it was my
Oh,
phone switch.
got it.
I
Okay.
had it on do not disturb and then I took it off. So I don't know if that'll help you.
Yeah, that could be it too. I know I have AirPods, so sometimes. But yes, if anyone can't hear us, let us know. But what I wanted to end on is I know you talk a lot about the great resignation, and since we're talking about relationships, and you had kind of brought up networking and interviewing and kind of getting yourself out there in applications, this is kind of a weird time. Even I feel it. Like I feel like a lot of people kind of took control, they left, they wanted to pursue their passions, and entrepreneurship is very hard. It's not easy. It's often romanticized, right? And I think a lot of people are realizing that. And so now they're almost like, I need to get a job. I need to go back into the workforce. So it's a really just like interesting time. Not everyone is doing that, but I'm seeing it. So I would love to hear your thoughts and kind of how relationships come into that. If you have thoughts, or maybe I'm
No,
taking
I
this a
do, but
weird
there was a
route.
lot in what you said. So what I want to say is
Sorry.
being an entrepreneur is, no, I want to make sure I'm answering your question, but I think being an entrepreneur is awesome. I love it.
Mhm.
But I tried it 12 years ago and I wasn't ready.
Mm,
So, and then I think it was 12 years ago, and then I did it again 3 years ago and I was ready. And I think I had unrealistic expectations
mhm.
12 years ago, like, and now I know that I have a network of people to lean on. I hate the term solopreneur because we aren't doing it alone. We're not meant to do it alone. You know, thank you, Brene
Mm,
Brown or Glennon. But so even if you are an entrepreneur, use your network. And you're not meant to do everything. Like I outsource my bookkeeping and some of my
mm.
social just because those aren't strengths of mine. So I think relationships are important because we need them no matter what we do, and certainly when we're on our own. So that
Yeah.
is how I want to answer the entrepreneur question. In terms of the great resignation, if companies had better relationships with their employees, I do
Mhm.
not think that they would have as much turnover in most cases. I really don't. I did a focus group recently with some 20 somethings that I
Mhm.
coach and first, second, third jobs. And some people were leaving just because everybody else was. So that was sort of an
Mm.
anomaly. They felt like if they stayed, what would it say about them? And that's the first time
Hmm.
I've actually heard that. I thought that was super interesting. But in general, if you take good care of your employees, that means paying attention to them, using your one on ones effectively, caring about them, they don't want to leave. It's too much change and disruption. And if an employee leaves
Right.
because they can't get the growth at your company and they need this move to further their career, you should encourage that because those
Yeah.
people, boomerangs come back. And we're not here to keep people in the same jobs forever. People want growth. So those
Yeah.
relationships are equally important. The way you let an employee walk out the door speaks volumes about your company. And you should leave, the old adage of
Mm.
take your stuff, move, get out right away. How does an employee feel that way? Not so good. Now, there might be some legal reasons for that, but in general, and I
Sure.
could talk about talent acquisition all day, you should care how people go out just as much as how they come in.
Exit interviews and strategies. Yeah.
Exit interviews are tough because
Yeah.
if you're doing an exit interview and you're still at the company, you're likely not going to badmouth somebody. And if it's by HR, um, how honest can you be? So sometimes a third party might be best,
Hmm.
and people don't want to burn bridges. So there is some sort of holding back, I think, in exit interviews.
Right. Right. Oh my gosh. You also just said so much.
Sorry, I wanted to break
No,
down your
no.
question. I apologize about that if I went on too long.
No, 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 not at all. I think becoming an entrepreneur, it is very hard to ask for help and to admit that maybe you don't have all the answers. And oh no, you can't hear us. I'm sorry. I think maybe it's something on your end. I'm sorry.
Maybe watch
Um,
the replay because
yes,
maybe, yeah.
we'll be reposting this and maybe the replay will work for you better. Um, Oh my gosh, it's amazing when you actually open up and you tell people, I'm really struggling and I would love to learn from you, or who do you know, or how can we work together? It's just like amazing how people come together and really want to see you flourish. The business coach I just worked with, you and I could go on about this, I know, forever, but she just was like, we had built a relationship for a year and we finally decided to work together. And it was just we had maintained a relationship. We really trusted one another. We really wanted to support each other. And so we both were like, let's do this. And she's been absolutely amazing. And I don't, yeah, I mean, it's just incredible what can happen when you tap into what you have and the community you build and the relationships you have with people. And people really do want to see you succeed.
People really do want to see you succeed and people are cheering you on. So you got to get out into this is
Hmm.
coaching. And I know I see Kareen may have left, but she left a corporate job and she is also coaching. Is Get over the self-doubt in your head, because believe that everybody really wants to see you succeed, and don't be afraid to ask for help. And because no one knows what's in your head.
No, no. And this could be another fabulous slide, but just to again kind of summarize, you said the relationships that you have with your employees is just equally as important as your customers. And I can tell you from what I've seen over the years, if you don't treat your employees well, they will not treat your customers well. And it really, everything, your sales, your business, workplace culture, it starts with leadership and examples that you set and how you make them feel. And I know personally, whenever I hired someone, oops, see,
Happened to you
there's my
too.
AirPod. It's all the head moving. It I would always treat them like family, and I would tell them that they were my family, and they were now part of the store family because we wanted them to feel heard and seen and valued, right? And so, it can go a long way when you do that for people.
It can go a long way. I have a hard time with saying family, because if we had to lay people off, we lay people, a
I
family off.
know.
So I agree with it, because I felt like I always worked for a family, but I have read so much about that, you know. So I don't disagree with you, but like, at least treat them like
Mm,
they matter.
treat them like people, like they
Yeah,
matter. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, Donna, oh my gosh, is there anything else that you would love to say about relationships and why they're so important that we left out?
No, I really feel like it was a good conversation. I think you and I could probably talk for hours, and I love
Yes.
what you do, because you really understand the customer
Oh,
relationship,
thank you.
especially as it relates to retail and sales. And I think that you provide such a valuable service to the online community. So I'm so honored that we got to talk today.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. Like, I could say the same to you. And, people do want to learn more about you. How can they find you? You have the newsletter for one.
I have a biweekly newsletter. You know, I when I came out of corporate, I was like, I can't do weekly, because the people are getting bombed in emails. So I do it
Mhm.
biweekly, and I've been doing it for 3 years. I have a website, D Star Consultants. I'm on Instagram under D Star Consultants, and I'm on Facebook. So, but really, I'm very active on LinkedIn also under Donna
Mhm.
Star. 1R. And I look forward to, if anybody
Yes.
has any questions, I would love to answer them. But I really enjoyed our time today.
Yes, no, gosh, thank you for being here, for chatting. If you don't know about Donna, you're just amazing. Like I know you know your stuff. You will bye.
Bye.
That's so funny. I love that. Bye to you too. Oh, and have a
You
good
too.
day. But definitely go check out Donna. You're so friendly. You've been so approachable on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and I know we've been also chatting for the past year. So I know that you'll be in amazing hands with Donna with any questions you have with all of your experience, your wealth of knowledge. So,
Thank you so much. So
of
have a
course,
great day, and
yes,
let's do this again. I'll bring you
yes,
on mine. We'll talk
yes.
more stuff.
I
All right.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
All right, thank
Bye.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.